Welcome back to the Lumiose Tower, where we're aiming to be the very best like no one ever was, and today we are going to be talking about the Pokemon that are going to be returning in the Teal Mask and Indigo Disc DLC while doing some raids on here. Now, the thing about this is, while there are some Pokemon like Dugong and Ninetales that we have gotten confirmed to return, like by the Pokemon Company officially released information, there are some other Pokemon that we actually just know are coming back. The reason this is because of when we got the patch on Pokemon Day, where, you know, we were able to do the raids for Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, and there were apparently some bug fixes. I've yet to see them, but okay. We also, in that, got some scrapped dex entries, and what this basically means is that these are dex entries for some kind of second area DLC that we have not yet seen. The same thing happened with when we got the update for Isle of Armor way back when. We, along with it, got a update for, or got a list for the Crown Tundra Mons, their scrapped dex entries that were coming in the Crown Tundra, and because of that, we knew all the Pokemon that were coming in Crown Tundra, and sure enough, when Crown Tundra came along, we were right. So, I say all that to say that we've got a list here. It's very likely going to be correct, so if you want to remain unspoiled, this is again data mined, not leaked, but data mined, then maybe hop on out of here. But yeah, we're going to jump right in. So first off, all the starters are back with the sole exception of Superior and Embor. Unova confirmed, I guess, is going to be like the theme of the day. But in all seriousness, aside from the competitive talk, I'm super happy about this. You know, I love that they're all in. Infernape and Empoleon are both terrific in singles, and Incineroar, excuse me, Torterra, we'll get to Incineroar. Torterra is going to be able to shine a little bit better now because of its, you know, ability to Terra. You can now Terra it to another type, so it doesn't have that quad weakness, you know. It really is a Mon that's going to, you know, even if it's not an amazing Mon now, it definitely will be better than what Torterra was when we were last able to use it in, like, the, I guess, games where the VGC bracket was running in Gen 7. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. I love, like I said, I love all the starters, and so I'm happy they're all here. On that note, as I was saying, Incineroar's in. And if you have watched one VGC match in Gen 8 or Gen 7, you know that Incineroar being in is a big deal, and it is. I mean, Incineroar is one of the most popular Pokemon in VGC. Intimidate did not get nerfed this gen like a lot of people thought it would be. So because of that, we are very likely going to see you know, Incineroar still have the same level of power and use that it did in Generation 8. Now, there are some other things to be excited for. So, Sceptile is another Mon that I feel like has not gotten the love it deserves. You know, it's not the most competitive Mon. I mean, the sad thing is the grass typing is just not a great typing. It got a little bit more love when it got Mega, but Megas aren't in, and as far as we know, they won't be in DLC. So, you know, it's very unlikely that Sceptile could see some love, except, once again, we have the Terra being able to be used on Sceptile, which will make it a little more competitive. And not only that, but we'll also be able to possibly see Sceptile get some new moves. Specifically, I'm hoping Sceptile gets Shed Tail. You know, Shed Tail is currently only available for use by Cyclizar and Orthworm. And I think that's it. Correct me in the comments if you know of any others that get it. But Sceptile being able to get it would be one more Mon with kind of a, not an exclusive move, but a pretty exclusive move, only limited to it and 2 others. We don't know that Sceptile will get this, but I think it's very possible because, even Mega Sceptile, it loses its tail. It literally shoots off its tail. So I really think Sceptile could get Shed Tail. So I think that's great, and I really want it to happen, like, really, really badly. Blaziken is also a Pokemon that's going to see a lot of use. The fact of the matter is that Blaziken, even without the Mega, it's really good. Speed Boost, Protect, Baton Pass, that alone does a lot, but also just, it's a strong Mon, and again, Speed Boost. And even if you don't Baton Pass it, Protect, Speed Boost, and then just running some attacking moves, that can be pretty scary. I also think that, there's a possibility that the Johto Mon sees some more love. Meganium should be able to get Pollen Puff now if, home data mining is any indication. Is Pollen Puff still TM? If Pollen Puff is no longer a TM, then that may not be true. But either way, that'll be some nice love for Meganium, especially in doubles, because Pollen Puff, can do damage, but can also heal, like, your ally, depending on how you use it. So, yeah, that's going to be really, really nice for Meganium, and I love that, because the Johto starters, they're definitely the starters that competitively have been most left behind. So I say give it to them. They deserve it. Also, for anyone who's running weather teams, you do have the return of Ninetales for your sun teams, and you have the return of Politoed for your rain teams. My wife is a big fan of rain teams. She loves to run a rain team, and she very often will run a rain team with Politoed. She does not like running Pelipper. She prefers to run Politoed. So she's pretty happy about that. And, I love Politoed as a Mon. Like, just in general, its design is great. So all around, Politoed coming back is really, really neat. Snorlax is another bulky Mon. Lapras as well. That because they're both bulky, you have options with Terra. There's a lot of Pokemon that, just because of their bulk, you can Terra them to something else, and it makes them a little more competitive. And I think that Lapras and Snorlax could be in this. I can see Terra Ghost Snorlax doing a lot of damage, to be frank. Another Pokemon that, kind of to go back to the weather teams for a moment, another Pokemon that we could see get a lot of action is Kingdra. Kingdra is also supposed to be returning, and Kingdra's quite scary. Swift Swim is no joke. Honestly, even Sniper is pretty scary. So, yeah, Kingdra's coming back. Water Dragon's a great typing. They're kind of handing it out to a lot of things now. You're going to have plenty of Water Dragon options. You've got Tatsugiri and Walking Wake, but now you're going to have Kingdra as well. Unfortunately, no Dracovish, which does crush my soul into a million pieces. Not being overdramatic about that at all. To talk about singles for a moment, I have always loved using Crawdaunt. It's not the most common Pokemon in singles, but I always, I like to use him. He's a Pokemon I really like. I love, crustaceans in real life and in Pokemon. So, it makes sense that I would love Crawdaunt, and I love to use him. He's great. Milotic is another big deal, and that's one of the officially revealed ones that's coming back. One of the ones that I am also personally excited for, again, for singles, is Ambipom. Again, not a Pokemon that sees a lot of love, but I have had a lot of good sets with Ambipom that I'm excited for. I love to run Fake Out on it, and, we're not in a Dynamax world, so you have to think there's, Flinch is a lot more popular now. But Fake Out is great on it. Aerial Ace is amazing on it. Double Hit I usually run on it. And I will usually give it U-turn, but depending on what moves it may or may not be able to get this time around, I might well give it something different. I don't know. I'm not married to that set, but I do have a lot of fun using it and a lot of success using it. So don't be hating on Ambipom is all I'm getting at today. Now, another Pokemon that I am personally very, very excited for is Gliscor. Gliscor is, just, design-wise, he is amazing. But even aside from that, I love running Poison Heal Gliscor. It can be very scary. It can be ran a lot of different ways. You can run a bulky Gliscor, honestly, and you can run a speedy Gliscor, it gets a very diverse moveset. You know, it gets so many different moves. It gets Fire Fang and, you know, Thunder Fang. It gets Sky Uppercut, Night Slash, U-Turn X Scissor, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Earthquake. You know, it's pulling from, like, almost all the types. And with Terra Blast and the ability to Terrastallize, it will literally be pulling from all the types. So, Gliscor, again, a very scary Pokemon that's going to be coming in, and I wouldn't take it lightly. Probopass, I honestly could see get a lot of usage in singles as well. The thing about Probopass is it's going to be able to get body press now, and you know, you can do, and you see this sometimes with Magnezone, but I think Probopass will be better at it. You see a lot of the times people will like run magnet pull trap sets, so like Magnezone can come in onto a steel type and it traps the steel type in there, and then Magnezone is able to just repeatedly use body press and, you know, take out the steel type because the steel type's weak to body press. So, yeah, it is a more circumstantial moveset, but, you know, we can't do a video on these without talking about the fun ones. Excadrill, a great mold breaker user, which is a lot of fun. Love to see that. You know, that's going to be really big on, oddly enough, I've seen a lot of Earthworm sets run in singles, and that'll be pretty big on Earthworm because that's an Earthquake that Earthworm cannot eat, actually, because of mold breaker. So, Excadrill will be a lot of fun. I personally am pretty excited for Leavanny. No, it's not the most busted Pokemon out there, but it's a sticky web setter, and that's fun, and also it's an amazing design, so, you know, who cares? It doesn't have to be competitive for me to use it in battle, and I'll use it in battle and still do my best and hopefully maybe win. Whimsicott is another big one in doubles, especially, you know, Prankster can set up Tailwind, so, you know, I am curious to see how that affects Murkrow. Murkrow is, you know, the only Prankster Tailwind setter right now, but, you know, when Whimsicott comes in the Indigo Disc, that'll change. And so I am curious to see if that will, you know, deter people from using Murkrow, or if people have actually just gained respect for Murkrow now and will just still want to use it. You know, that would be cool. I mean, you know, I love seeing Murkrow get some love, but either way, Whimsicott also having access to Switcheroo just makes me think that we probably won't see much action from Murkrow here on out, but, you know, a man can dream. Galvantula, again, if we're going to talk about Leavanny being a web setter, we do have to talk about Galvantula also being a web setter, but, you know, that's kind of neat. Chandelure coming in is really cool, but that is our, like, 10 billionth fire ghost type in this game. But it's a good one. It is a good one. I mean, it gets access to Strength Sap, which is really, really clutch. Now, I am curious to, again, see kind of how it compares to Surledge. Surledge is a physical attacker, while Chandelure is a special attacker. But both have a healing move that is often run on it, with Chandelure running Strength Sap and Surledge running Bitter Blade. I am curious to see how that'll go. I also, just on a side note here, I am also very excited to see Chandelure be run as Terra Fire, because then it has a Chandelier on top of the Chandelure, and I just think that's a lot of fun. Who doesn't? But yeah. We also have another one that I like to run is Toucannon, also Araquanid. Both of those are a lot of fun to run, especially in singles. I know Toucannon isn't the most popular one, but look, Beak Blast, Rock Blast, Bullet Seed set with Skill Link, that can catch some people. You know, I find, especially in ranked, people like to bring the same Mons, and so I found a lot of luck in ranked and getting, like, to Master Ball tier and all by using some obscure but powerful Pokemon. Like, I can't walk in there with a Venonat, you know? But walking in there with a Venomoth, you actually will throw some people off, and you'll find that your Venomoth is kind of the star of that battle. Now, again, we're talking about ranked, which is a whole nother ball game from, you know, 6-on-6 single battles, but it still is a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Comfy's cool. You know, you've got the whole access to Pollen Puff. It's also got triage, so, you know, healing moves they go first, they have higher priority. So that's, you know, when it's going to use Pollen Puff, it can do that, you know. So there's a lot of Pollen Puff sets being run with a Moongus right now in doubles, so maybe Comfey will get some love there. We also do have our only 2 missing pseudos coming back, Komo-o and Metagross, neither of which are the most commonly seen pseudos, but they are good pseudos. I mean, they're pseudo-legendary, so at the end of the day, they are good mons, and, you know, especially in singles, you will see some Metagross usage, and, you know, please God, if there are indeed Megas coming back in DLC, there probably aren't, but if there are, you better believe that Metagross will be seeing some love. Alchemy is another really fun Pokemon. That's the last one we're going to talk about here. I like to run it. You know, it's acid armor sets. It can be a really troublesome Pokemon in a really single 6-on-6, but especially in ranked. You know, those kind of stally, bulky, and just keeps building up on their bulk type mons are great in ranked. So Alchemy coming in, that'll be a big deal for it. But yeah, those are just kind of the ones that stand out to me as Pokemon that are going to be really, really competitive when the DLC does roll in and we get these returning mons. Be sure to let me know which of these you think will be competitive. You know, any ones that I missed, if you're familiar with that list. If you're not, you can find it on Matyukana, I believe is the name of the Twitter. I'll have it up on the screen, a picture of his Twitter on the screen here. But go to his Twitter, and if you scroll down, he's got the full list, like on a Payspend link. Click that, and you can see them all. Let me know which of these you're excited to be using in battle again, and also just which ones you're excited for because you like the Pokemon. Yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications as well, so you don't miss our future discussion videos on competitive talk, as well as just our battle videos that we do on here. And until next time, keep on climbing to the top.